Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Bigfooty rules still apply.
So, welcome to the Flogcast for 2014. We're back despite all the button mashing that went on. Chiefs let us continue.
Hooray.
Fyfie joined by Dan.
Evening.
Network Nerd.
G'day, guys.
Ant.
G'day.
And Teach.
Oh, well, I'm dead last now. So, okay, that's fine. Here I am.
Alright, so yeah, the NAB's on at the moment, 18 games in 18 days, and it started with a bang with the Cats and the Pies actually going reasonably hard at each other for once, which was, interesting for a practice game. Teach.
Well, yeah, it was probably the best game that I've seen of the NAB Challenge because they really did have a red-hot crack at each other. And there were some great players from Collingwood that stood up. Taylor Adams, he showed that he's going to be a top-line player this year. But in the end, the Cats just showed them. But it was very, very tight. So I thought that was the best game of the NAB Challenge that I've seen so far.
Well, those two play in the early rounds of the season, and I think they're probably pretty much the same level, probably going for third to seventh on the ladder, so they're probably just sort of measuring each other, see how they match up against each other, and then the punches will start flying in round three.
So how did Tommy Pork go?
You're taking the piss. You don't take the piss out of the Tommy Pork because he kicked four. And
got 4 McDonald's vouchers afterwards for his efforts.
Shut the fuck up.
So
Jesse White kicked 5.
So you reckon both teams are up at the moment?
He kicked a couple off the ground. Tomahawk kicked all of his from marks. So
well, that would imply that Jesse White's far more athletic and quick. He got to the spilt ball, whereas Tommy just sat under it and didn't follow anything up.
Ooh, cheeseburger grab.
So Tyler, you think Geelong are up right now?
Well, I got nothing. So you got me there. But
well, it sounds like I need to change my vote in the what was it? The Bay 13. What was it fucking called again? Sorry.
The predictions.
Yeah, man. The predictions. Geelong's my new May premiers, man.
No. If you look at the draw that's coming up and who is playing who, Hawthorn are definitely going to be the May premiers.
No, but they play Geelong along the way.
Yeah, round 5.
Well, you guys just keep pumping us up and say, oh, we're going to beat Hawthorn every time. But that's over now because they beat us in the preliminary final, and they're going to be confident that they're going to beat us again. So
I wouldn't know. Yeah. I wouldn't be sure about that.
You're the home and away kings, aren't you?
Yeah, Hawthorn don't care when they beat you as long as they beat you when it matters.
Has Hawk.
So that's the new Kennett curse. The Kennett curse is correct, apparently. Asked many Hawthorn supporters. The Kennett curse, it was a master troll, 11 in a row or 12 in a row before the crushing loss, and the only one that mattered since the grand final.
Yeah, well, get fucked. I'm sick. I'm sick of you pricks, just pumping us up. So I'm not listening to you anymore. So, shut up.
All right, May premiers. Next.
Well, they did pretty well, but Geelong played well without Selwood. He was missing. He's not worked out how to milk free kicks yet, so he's staying cool on that now that the ducking's been outlawed.
Yeah, he's trying to learn how to live out of the pond.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking
Quack.
fingers. Stop quacking.
Quack.
I'm sick of you. You did it last year, and I'm not putting up with it anymore.
Yeah, quack off.
I know where you live. I know where all of you live, and I'm going to go over and give you a fucking lesson.
We know what you look like. You're the teach. We know where to find you on a Saturday afternoon. It's behind the goals at Shithole Stadium.
Shithole Stadium. Oh, I've had enough. That's it. I'm leaving. I'm off.
Anyway, moving on from a very close game to a not-so-close game, or hard-fought game. Network Nerd, did you watch this one?
only watched the first half, but absolutely miserable game. Just, it was good to be a Hawthorn supporter, but you want to see some sort of challenge for a practice match, but that was just like a training run, so not too much to take out of it. The usual guys up forward kicked a few goals. I think between Hale, Ruffhead and Gunston, it was about 9 or 10 goals, so probably haven't really learnt anything new. So not much to really take out of that. Hopefully the next game, which I think is against North. I mean, that was the game last year where they called the game off. I think it was 3/4 time because of the rain.
Wasn't that amusing?
What, a North game called off because of rain?
Yeah, even before the roof was left open.
Oh, they should have closed the roof because it's Brad Scott.
No, back to Brad Scott's old team, Brisbane Lions. So did they have a full squad in? I mean, were they just that bad, or?
One of my friends works in the kit club at the Brisbane Lions, and they got instructions before the game to say that they didn't have the resources to wash their Guernseys after the game.
Come on.
So the instruction came out from the coach, don't go too hard because we can't wash our Guernseys after the game, plus we can't have a shower after the game. So just go soft, and therefore we don't need to wash our Guernseys and we don't need to have a shower. And they followed those instructions to the nth degree. And so good on them. They followed those instructions. And but Hawthorn were a bit bemused at the fact that they were just chasing after shadows for the whole game.
Yeah, it didn't seem that Hawthorn were going that hard. It was just Brisbane were that bad.
Well, they're really fucked for a couple of years now, and all their first and second year, third year players have all walked on them.
Yeah, Ashish already wants to go back home to Adelaide.
Why do you keep calling him Ashish, Anne? Because his name is Aish.
What did I say? Ashish.
Yeah, you've done that for the 3 weeks in a row.
We haven't been on in like 3 months.
No, well, the last 3 times we've been on...
It's like the first time I've tried pronouncing this guy's name.
I know, but you called him Ashish, but his name is Aish.
Fuck off.
Yeah, you can't read too much into pre-season, but...
Brisbane is shit.
Yeah, Brisbane look in a world of trouble at the moment.
Oh, don't they just? They look like...
I reckon they should have folded.
Wouldn't be the first time the Lions folded.
No. Hear that, Roy? They folded.
But yeah, moving on from one team that looks like they're struggling onto one that...
Tigerland. We lost the shittest teams to Fitzroy.
Well, what I've got to say about this NAB challenge is that the teams that have had more to challenge for from the last year, if they've got unfinished business from last year, they're opening their account in a harder sense. So you look at what Adelaide have done against Port. I mean, what did it mean to Port if they won the NAB challenge? Nothing. So they didn't have as much input as Adelaide did.
So you're saying, Teach, that Richmond are happy that they lost to the 9th place team in the finals?
I don't think they care. They won't care. Why would they care?
You could tell by some of the changes that it was trial, like with most teams, but you would expect still to beat Melbourne, though they did have a crack. They want winning form, you can tell that. They want to actually know how to win before they play St Kilda, just in case they're somehow not up by a fucking shitload.
Well, structurally, they've got a couple of hard nuts in the centre now. So you got Daniel Cross, named Nathan Jones.
Vince.
Is he really Nina under? I don't really know much about that guy, but
all I know is he likes to get drunk and parade around in his boxer shorts after cricket finals.
But you got you got some seasoned bodies in there, so you got the fairies on the outside who'd be able, like a Trent Grove and so forth, and the Watts. They can feed off these guys who are putting their head over the ball. Putting an example out there to these young players. So good on them. Did you watch the game there, Fyfie?
I watched more of the cricket, to be honest. I tuned in for a bit and probably found myself watching the end because I think it was close to the lunch break. But yeah, some concerning signs, others not so worrisome. Like
it's a NAB Cup.
You're not going to worry about it right now, really.
They're lined up forward with an average height, I think, of about 196 centimetres, so that wasn't too good. They did have it a bit easy rebounding because of that. But yeah, other than that, not too fussed. But Melbourne looked to have some heart and a bit of hardness, less laziness, and that's what Paul Roos was brought in for, and he's already showing it.
Well, that was what they wanted. This is what's happened in the NAB Challenge, is that the sides that have got a lot to prove from last year. They just had a harder crack at it. That's all.
Yep.
I don't think we should be jumping on the Melbourne bandwagon too quickly.
No.
This time last year, it was Brisbane that was all the rage during the pre-season, and look what they did during the season proper.
This is probably just a honeymoon period as well.
Agree on that. We shouldn't at all be thinking Melbourne will finish 12th or higher. Outside the bottom 6, as some people have got on a bandwagon, a preemptive bandwagon. Boosh.
Mighty douche.
Oh, okay, Rennebride. But yeah, North Melbourne Carlton out at the Rat. I'd ask Dan, but I heard he got kicked out.
Oh, apparently you were banned. Suze had Interpol involved and shit got real.
Oh, look, I tried to get in through every gate at that ground, but the men in black suits, with their clipboards, they all had photos of me, and I couldn't get in.
The photo, was that of you sitting on the toilet doing a selfie?
Yeah, it was the one of many on my Instagram account. Dan, Susie Olsen.
You need to stop doing selfies of yourself on the camera.
I know, I can't help it. It's just my thing,
Did anyone spot Suze on the telecast? Or?
She didn't go.
She didn't go.
So the game was at North Ballarat and she didn't go.
She didn't go.
How appalling is that?
Oh, what a fraud. Just to echo your sentiments, Dan, what a fraud.
So the other thing Carlton's done is brought the likes of Cruz Missile back to Bay 13. Big predictions.
Yes.
I'm expecting Big Red is back as well.
And the Cruise Missile's still on the Pelican and Hughes bandwagon. He's bagging the Pelican. I hope the Pelican ends up at Carlton one day.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting stuff.
Oh, that would be great.
He won't accept defeat on the Hughes thing, no matter how many spuds he drafts. Boosma!
But imagine the Pelican and Malthouse trying to get along.
I'll just be like Fig Jam and Malthouse trying to get along.
Pretty much.
Anything else on North Carlton?
I didn't watch the game, but it was a close game, so did they choke or...
Nah, they were behind all day.
Yeah, we came from behind and
couldn't quite get there.
Couldn't quite get there, no.
Oh, wow.
It meant more to Carlton than it did to North.
Pretty much.
North don't care about pre-season because they're going to be better in the full season. But Carlton, it meant more
wait a
to
minute.
Carlton.
But so Carlton won in the finals, and a NAB challenge means something to them, and Richmond lost. And it doesn't.
Well, it's pre-season. I mean,
it is, and there's not a whole lot to read into them. I saw parts of this, but it didn't really get my...
I liked what I saw from Dal Sano. He still looks like a superstar.
Even though he's got a small cock.
Yeah.
I was going to be a bit more subtle and say, you don't think little of him anymore, Dan? Or
Yeah, that's a good note to finish that on. Teach did mention the shit fight out West Horsham, but did anyone watch it?
Nope.
The only thing I can take from it is looking at the score. Adelaide finished with 119.
I think they deliberately scored that shut up shop once they got to 119.
I didn't watch it, but I listened on the radio, and it just sounded like a complete shit fight.
You listen to 5AA? Fucking hell, are you a sadist?
He's from Geelong, come on.
Oh, I guess he's got K-Rock. They're just as bad. Fuck.
You fucking idiots. Look, they play every game on SEN.
But it'd be simulcast with 5AA, wouldn't it? With Graham Corns and some other fuckwit.
Probably still sooking about the jumper. Which, since we're on the subject, the South Australian state jumper debacle. That was the funniest thing out of West Horsham I've seen in a long time.
I fucking loved it. The amount of Crow supporters going, it doesn't matter, yet I'm going to go on about it and create an avatar, but it doesn't matter.
That was just ridiculous, and they had to back down. It's like, who wears blue and white in Victoria? Geelong and Carlton. Are we going to wear the Victorian jumper? No.
Or North Melbourne.
No, that's Argentinian jumpers.
Fuck off.
But are we going to wear the Victorian state jumper in a game? Of course we're not. Why should Adelaide do that? It's just shit.
But they're the team for all of South Australia.
Yeah. They led with their chin and they got smacked out like
Susie with her cat.
I tell you a funny thing, the Crows board was getting absolutely trolled afterwards by the Port supporters.
Good on them.
And one of the reported posts had someone called their team a franchise. He put in the report, how dare this person call our proud club a franchise? Card him.
Yeah, it was a disaster, and really, the right result happened in the end, but it was an amusing 2 days. If only it had been an amusing 2 weeks, because that story had legs.
Well, it did. I mean, if it had to be my club, I would have been just very pissed off, and I would have thought, oh, how's this going to affect us? And you just thought that there was a bit of chin music coming your way, and that's what happened. So, bad luck, Adelaide, you know.
Bless their little murdering barrel riding souls.
My favourite argument is that Port wear the state jumper as well, apparently, because they've got a V. It's just different colours according to Adelaide. Because it's navy blue instead of royal blue, that means that colours are different. So Port's using the state jumper as well. They're just changing the colours as well. That's an argument.
What is it with
Fucking
those?
insane.
What is it with the fucking idiots over there? I mean,
Must be the water.
yeah, it is. Well, as Dan said, you need a spoon to take the bits out of the water.
You can smell the chlorine coming out of the fucking shower. It's just gross.
Their water is as solid as Suze's soup.
That must be it. Maybe we need another team in Adelaide so that they just get over themselves and just realise that they're just not a state representative side.
What could we call them? The Snowtown Barrel Riders? And finally, just on brief note, Gold Coast rolling Essendon, which once again it's only a NAB and you can't read too much into it, but
It seems the drugs have well and truly worn off. They just faded in the last quarter there, didn't they?
they might have a bit of the Norths.
Well, we all hate it anyway, so, you know, it's just funny, that's all.
Apparently Gary Ablett played a good game, according to...
Well, they played Gary Ablett in the NAB Challenge, and no other side plays its best player. So
Where was it played at? In Gold Coast?
Yep.
Of course they got to do it. They got to market the game, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Essendon, did they have a full team in?
No.
They were missing Cremary, weren't they?
Fat Boy plays for your team now, doesn't he?
Tomahawk plays for us.
Barry.
That's the joke. That Crameri plays for the Bulldogs now.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Anyway, moving on to a couple of other things that have happened since we were last on. It's a new year, and that means a new Australian of the year. And the finger this year was pointed at Adam Goodes.
Wrong.
Such a
Wrong. Wrong.
Such a token gesture there. So many more deserving people. I mean, really, at the end of the day, what's he done? He kicks a footy, has a bit of a whinge. I mean, really, in this day and age, how much racism has he really copped on the field from players? I mean, imagine if he played 20 years ago.
You can't say that, Network. That's racist.
Oh, sorry. So, what am I? I'm a butthurt Hawk supporter.
That was basically the sentiment of Sydney posters. If you disagreed with Adam Goodes winning this, you are racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I commend him for the stuff he does outside football with his community and stuff, but this type of award needs to go to people who do this on a full-time basis. You know, who do charity work, who saves lives, people who go to Afghanistan.
Who had a gun to the head.
Yes.
Harry O'Brien.
Yeah. Or if you had a shot, he put to your mouth.
Teffy got Australian of the Year?
Yeah. Yeah, give it to him. There's just so many more deserving winners than, you know, sports athletes or actors that do a little bit of goodwill work on the side.
But is it really is the whole thing just tokenism? Does anyone really give a shit who's Australian of the Year on Australia Day?
Not really. It just looks really silly, especially when the AFL have their own award for this kind of thing, that Australian of the Year is judged upon. And Goodes didn't make the final three for his community work in the AFL, but he got Australian of the Year. Little bit sus.
Oh, good on him.
Well, I agree with Dan, and I agree with Network. Right on the money. I don't know what the criteria was that put Adam Goodes up there, but, well, I mean, I don't dislike Adam Goodes. I think he's a great guy. I think that, you know, he's a great footballer too. But that little incident with the girl, you know, no. That's not what should have been having him elevated up to being Australian of the Year. So there it is.
You're all racist.
I think we're just about all in agreement on that. He's a good bloke. He does great work and all this. But he didn't deserve that.
You know, I mean, I'd give him a pat on the back or a banana.
On that note, we'll move on because Dan actually did mention a name in there which I think I actually overlooked in the rundown, but we probably need to discuss. It's a name that doesn't get used anymore because now we have Herita Labumba.
That was me that talked about Harry O'Brien.
Or was it you?
Yeah, man. I didn't even want to try and pronounce. Shut up, Teach. How do you say his name, though? Is anyone actually trying to pronounce it?
Oh, no.
I think Lumumba.
Lumumba? Is that it?
Lumumba, I think it is.
Okay. Herita's more easy to pronounce, which is odd. But yeah, any thoughts on that?
Stop changing your name. Fuck.
I just find it hilarious that his book has Harry O on it, and he changed his name 2 days after the release of it. But yeah.
So what would be the nickname now? Hertiel?
Well, about offended.
Attention seeking whore.
Yep.
Not very catchy. We have to work on that.
That's a pretty good note to end on for that. Let's move on to something else. Probably could have covered this earlier with Port in the discussion, but Port underwent some hypnotism at training along the lines of some of the more interesting training methods going around, like teams going with blindfolds, which Richmond apparently did recently, and West Coast with the invisible balls at training.
Did he tell the Port team to not kick a goal in the first half?
Yeah, well, that worked really well. So what's going on with that?
Maybe he told him to tank. But no, Dan, we do actually have a list of some of the things they hypnotised them into believing, so that the Port players could be ingrained in the Port culture as it is. So here are the top 5 things that Port were hypnotised into believing. Number 5 is that Sunrise is a must-watch show. I think that came direct from the president, that one. Number 4 then, Dan.
He tricked the players into believing that they don't play for a broke club.
Number 3, Ant.
The bay covers really create atmosphere. Ooh.
Number 2, Network Nerd.
Yeah, he tricked them into believing that the water in South Australia is actually quite clean.
Well, that's pretty ambitious there to get them to believe that. And the last one, Teach.
That they need to believe that they have more than one premiership.
He's got them thinking they were established in 1870.
That's a big stretch, though, isn't it?
Oh, that's factually incorrect.
Nah.
Let's move on. Most overconfident club. There's been a few clubs that have...
Got to be Carlton, doesn't it?
Yeah, how do we feel about that? Who's the most overconfident club, confident with not much cause to be this year? Ant, you're going Carlton?
Yep.
Cruise Missile, is that the reason?
Yeah, and Carlton generally are like that in the pre-season.
Network Nerd?
I actually think Essendon, they're thinking with Mark Thompson, they'll bounce back really quickly, top 4. I don't see it. Not that forward line.
I actually agree with you on that completely. I think it's Essendon for much the same reasons. They seem to think they've got this top 4 list, which I don't know where that comes from. Dan?
I have to agree with Ant on this one. I think Carlton posters have been pumping up Carlton a lot this pre-season. I mean, even during the, or not during, but prior to the North Carlton game, they were pumping up their side, even though they didn't have a full team. They were even pumping up not even having Thomas in the side, a guy that hasn't even played a game for them yet.
Or for anyone in the past year.
Yeah.
And Teach, who do you reckon it is?
Well, I'm going to have to say Geelong. I think that.
What is this?
Self-control.
I think we're going to bottom out and not make the 8 this year. But they're home. I'm pulling it out because I think that that's going to happen.
Probably the lack of free kicks to Selwood.
Oh, fuck off. It's not that. It's the fact that we've had such a massive turnover in the list. And, I just think that we're probably just going to miss out on the 8 this year.
Okay, interesting, bold statement there. Jake King and the Bikies. Jake King getting himself into a bit of trouble off season. We got anything on that?
How will the law take this if the Bikies are an outlaw organisation and they're not allowed to associate with each other? King associates with Bikies. Does that mean Richmond are a criminal organisation?
Oh, it wouldn't be the first one. There is Carlton, there is Essendon, there is St Kilda. It just puts us in a rather shit club.
Is that the Big Four?
I'd call it the Bighouse Four. Yeah, with St Kilda being the Collingwood of that group. Anyway, this last 2 months on the Bay has been rather interesting. It was pretty shit for a while there, but of late we've had some great efforts. So what are the top threads on that? Who wants to go with that?
Oh, my eyes is probably two of, I guess it's really how you look at it, whether it's one individual effort or a group effort. So best individual effort was probably Ugax. Thread from was it today or yesterday, and the best group effort was probably the Duritz one.
Yeah, the holiday thread was a standout for a long time there. That was very amusing, but this is probably the best video Ugax done.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree.
On so many levels, there are jokes in
I
that
haven't
one.
seen it, but I'm going to say yes.
He's getting more ambitious with them, and they're just getting funnier.
I hacked myself laughing.
I'll have to watch it after this because basically I read the thread and I was at work and I was like, is this safe for work? I'll watch it when I get home. And so, yeah.
I don't laugh at many things because, I've got a very...
Because you're a grumpy bastard.
Yes, I'm a grumpy bastard. And I have a subdued sense of humour. But I fucking shat myself laughing at this. What Ugag did with all of the Sydney players on that. It's already been stickied. Bender stickied it, and it was just hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
And you can tell when something is that good when even the Swans flogs are going, this is brilliant. Just like with the Carlton banjos, it's just like, and the Essendon ones, everyone just gets in. You can't not laugh, no matter.
So even Blood Red, or whatever his fucking name is, and Jackets.
Oh, probably
back
not
attack.
him, but the rest of them.
Well, I mean, when Ugag did the Curse of the Purple Puss, I laughed my head off at that, even though it was at the expense of my team.
And
But,
yourself, literally yourself.
And myself, yes, exactly, and myself. It was hilarious, but this one was just so funny.
I have to say, Network, you're very lucky he supports the Hawks, because your boys have given us so much material for so many videos, like Boss Little Meltdown and Procrastinator, and he has to be Poster of the Year.
Oh,
It's not fair.
look.
That would have been an awesome video, I mean.
Well, that's a pretty good note to move on to Flog of the off-season, because Procrastinator is a contender. Do we have any other names for that?
Alex Romy, Nigel.
So who's the guy that tattooed his arm with West Coast Eagles?
Stephen Shaved Ham / Alex Romance / multi-mega flog.
I reckon he was lying. I reckon it wasn't him. I reckon he was picking photos off someone's.
Actually, yeah, Tyler, fill everyone in on what he said about himself, because only, I think, Mods and a few others actually know that story.
All right, so this guy, he told us that he said I am the senior coach of the
Redacted.
Panthers football team, and so I actually sent an email to the club under my Tyler Durden alias, and I said, listen, we've got someone who is posting on our forum who is pretending, we don't even know. We think he's pretending to be your senior coach. So just let us know whether it's him or not. And they never sent anything back. And then he sent another post about 2 weeks later that had his sleeve tats on his arm in a selfie. And it was like, and I thought, fuck, it's him. It's actually him. But I couldn't believe that anyone that was a senior coach of a football side, and I've been involved with football sides for a long time, I thought, how could anyone who was a senior coach of a football side be such a complete fuckwit like he is?
In his defence, have you ever looked at the regional boards on Bigfooty? They're full of nuffers. Fucking hell. I'm sure one of Shaved Ham's aliases used to post on them as well. So he could be one of those local regional board nuffies.
But, I just thought to myself, no, you can't be who you purport to be, because, he just comes across as a teenager.
Basically, he does, yeah.
It could be his outlet, though.
Yeah, well, maybe. Okay, well, I'm prepared to accept that.
Anyway, he's our flogger of the off-season, I reckon. Stephen Shaved Ham, Alex Romance, Nigella Snortson.
Yeah.
Good on you, Steve. Did we actually talk about the Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, that was another good thread. If anyone's not seen it, it's about a scene where they're in the movie, they've got a midget coming in, they're trying to determine what they're allowed to do with him, and that St Kilda video of that, it was fantastic, and it's going to be overshadowed by Ugak's work, and Duritz's thread was also great, but that was seriously a good video. Just great scene and perfectly worked out, yeah.
Great movie too.
Yeah.
Honourable mention also to the Phone Apps thread by Ben Watkins.
And we'll look at a couple of games. There's 2 games coming up in the NAB we might talk about before they go on. Bulldogs St Kilda being played down at Geelong, and that's a bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're the low-drawing crowd. We go to Shithole Stadium.
Yeah. Well, you deserve to go to a place where you can actually earn fucking money.
Or maybe there's some type of ruling that, St Kilda have to be, within so many metres of civilization or something like that. They're going from Seaford to Geelong.
The City of Melbourne's got a restraining order against St Kilda. That's why they're playing in New Zealand.
So, yeah, I haven't seen St Kilda list, but the Dogs have put out the list they're playing. They're basically playing kids. Griffin's getting rested. So, obviously, we're one of the teams that are not taking it that seriously. Got nothing to prove.
Oh, well, maybe you can just catch the train down there and have a comfortable ride down to a really nice place to watch the football.
It would take me probably 2 hours to catch a train there. I mean, isn't it halfway to Ballarat?
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you won't have to dodge the drug dealers on the way to Whitten Oval.
That's right. I'm wearing the colours, man. It's all good. Yeah, they leave me alone.
One more game I just want to mention that is on Saturday. Richmond versus Collingwood out at Wangaratta. This one's just notable because of the fact that, it's in Wangaratta, and I imagine both Collingwood and Richmond will bus it or train there, and there'll be no planes, no forfeits, so they'll finally get a game of NAB football.
In Wangaratta, no thanks to Essendon.
Well, it's a nice place, Wangaratta. If you want to catch the train up there, and
What is it with you and trains, man?
Yeah.
Catch the train to Geelong.
Train
catch
spotter.
the train to...
well, you want to drive the whole way, or you just want to sit there in comfort because you can, and
Do you consider sitting on a train comfortable? Fucking those hard plastic seats.
We will move on to the predictions, I think, starting with Network Nerd. Who wins the flag, Network Nerd? Don't be afraid to say Hawthorn.
I would say Hawthorn. They'll get close, but I think Sydney they'll go hard this year for it, and I think they'll win it.
You've just been kicked out of the Hawthorn cult or brotherhood, that comment, I think.
No soggy biscuit for you, Network.
Oscar is going to go after you with a hatchet.
Yeah, you can have procrastinator going on and on. He's a well-named shithead, isn't he?
Well, they've got the extra $2 million. What was it? $2 million over the Bulldogs? They spend more, maybe even $2.5 million. So look, they've got to win it the next couple of years.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, look. Hawthorn had to win it last year, really. Otherwise, and very hard to go back to back. You can even ask Teach over there. Nearly impossible to go back to back. You just lose the hunger. So I think Sydney or Freo.
Nice mini troll of the Cats there. Okay, who's the bolter? Who jumps up the ladder? It doesn't have to be a surprising one, just someone who makes a big rise up the ladder.
I'll go Collingwood. I mean, really. They've been up there, but last year they finished, 7th or 8th?
8th, yeah.
So I think they should finish top 4.
Okay. That's a surprising one because a lot of people think they're going backwards.
No, they've recruited well. They're targeting players they need. Quinton Lynch was a failure. They got Jesse White instead, so he'll fill that swingman role, and hopefully they should do well.
Who's the slider? Who drops?
Definitely a Carlton. So 6 that they punch well above their weight. They're going down to 12, 13, similar to like an Adelaide of 2013. They'll be near that lower portion of that middle 6. So I reckon about 12, 13 for Carlton.
Teach. Who wins the flag?
Okay, so for the riser, North Melbourne to play off with Fremantle in the grand final.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, and I think North to win the grand final.
Oh, Teach, come on.
Yeah, like...
Go post on the North board with that, Teach. Go on.
Come on, Teach.
Yeah,
You get banned for trolling for that.
Take that to the North board. Yeah, you could be sincere as possible.
I think you're taking the piss, man.
The other riser is to be Richmond into the top 4. And the slider to be Geelong to miss the 8, would probably finish about 12th. So anything else surprising? Well, I've given you everything, haven't I?
Yeah, you've given us a fair bit there. You got North winning the flag.
I think North versus Fremantle in the grand final, I couldn't pick a winner in that.
How many people are going to be there?
About 15,000.
You know, the funniest thing about that is that, there'll be plenty of tickets probably available because none of the corporates will want to be there, but there'll be no fans to take them up.
With the sliding scale of pricing, would that be the cheapest grand final in 50 years?
Not even Suze would go.
Oh, well, that's not much of an effort. She doesn't go to any games.
God, Teach, bloody North winning the flag. That would just break the internet.
Anyway, Dan, who wins the flag? North?
Premier, I'm going to go with Hawthorn going back-to-back. They're the best team in the competition, and if they can keep all their star players on the field, no one will stop them. The bolter, I'm going to say North. I think they'll finish between 5th and 3rd. We got a softer draw compared to last year, and I think Del Santo is really going to help the midfield. And the slider, I'm going to go with Carlton.
All right, that works. Who hasn't gone Ant?
All right, Premier, toss-up. I reckon it's going to be a repeat grand final, Freo Hawthorn. Not sure who's going to win, so yeah, I'm on the fence on that one. Bolter?
You blokes, you're sitting on the fucking fence. Come on and give us something.
We can't all pick North for the premiership.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, man. Anyway, Bolter, I'm going to say the Dogs going to shoot up to 9th place and hopefully play off against Richmond and win a final.
Fuck off. I can't quite do the grumpy the same way, but
I know. You just don't have the... Anyway, Slider, I reckon I'm going to pick 2 teams. West Coast is going to finish bottom 4, and basically the reverse of what Network Nerd said. Collingwood are going to slide right down to about 12th as well, and Jesse White will be the new Quinton Lynch.
Ooh. That's interesting because a lot of people are saying that about Collingwood, but I'm not convinced they're going to drop. I think they hold pretty steady. But anyway,
I agree with you, Fyfie.
Not about to call them top 4, but I think their list is tracking that way eventually. It's a small dip before a rise. Anyway, Premier, I'm tipping the grand final that fucking everyone's going to hate. Fremantle-Sydney.
Oh, Jesus.
And I genuinely think that's going to happen. I reckon the Dockers break through, which I guess gives us the meltdown that the Swans didn't win.
What is the scoreboard going to finish on? 2 points to 3, or...?
It won't be much, but I guarantee Buddy will miss quite a few. Rack up the behinds. My Slider, I'm not going out there with this one. I think Carlton. No key forwards. Still waiting to realise his potential. Yeah, and my Bolter, I'm still in this one from Hadouken because I think it's a decent possibility. The Gold Coast Suns crack the 8.
They'll be hard to beat at Metricon. That's becoming a really hard venue to win games.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about round 1. I want to just at least get our record at even.
I was going to say, you got a good record against them, don't you?
We've only ever played them in Cairns. But yeah, that's what I got. Anyone else got any predictions? Just random ones?
How far into the season do you reckon St Kilda will have some type of scandal?
St Kilda is probably going to win the spoon.
Oh, are we unanimous on that?
Oh,
yeah.
My bottom 4 is St Kilda, GWS, West Coast, and probably Brisbane.
They love a bit of woodwork down at St Kilda. I mean, more than anyone else.
Just one more in the trophy cabinet probably wouldn't even look out of place.
Oh, I feel really sorry for them, but...
Fuck them.
Suck shit.
They bring a lot of the shit on themselves, but really, I mean,
Well,
I feel sorry for them, and then...
Then they burn a midget. I mean.
Yeah.
Climate culture.
They're just a mess. They've just been a mess forever.
You know the one person I feel sorry for most at St Kilda? It's Nick Rewald. He's such a champion.
Bugger.
Oh, he's a...
Bugger 35, yeah.
Nick Rewald's a gun player, and he always has been, but, it's all just disintegrating around him, so he's not going to get anything.
Can he at least get a coffee? Or...
Anyway, so this was the Flogcast returning for 2014 in the NAB Challenge for weeks, 18 games in 18 days. Fyfie joined by Teach.
Good evening.
Ant.
See you later, guys.
Network Nerd.
Hello, boys.
And Dan.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you in a week or two.